And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 30. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. Also debuting our brand new NFL friendly time of 11 a.m. EST. I'm very excited about our returning guests, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is no stranger to the ILP and has always supported us from day one. Since breaking bread with him at our very first DestinyCon, this Lord is first and foremost a true gamer, multi-platform owner, and has some of the best guides, let's plays, and walkthroughs in the entire Destiny community. Introducing the Nightfall soloist himself, the only Lord worthy to wield the light of the traveler, and the creator of some of the best cheesecakes ever seen on Twitter. My man, Lord Ebontis, how are we doing, sir?
What is up, man? I forgot about that for a second. Yeah, a gamer, and also like to work my way around the kitchen. So
I see, man.
Thank you for having me. That's quite the intro. See if I can work on living up to that one. But thank you very much for having me, as always. Appreciate being part of this.
Appreciate it, man. Your family is always good to have you. I had to shout out the cheesecakes because, man, you were killing me once I was coming out the gym. And I'm like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, that was a Reese's peanut butter swirl cheesecake. Homemade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you a bad dude.
Check his Twitter out, y'all. Lord Ebontis, check his Twitter. I'm telling you, man. If you're a fan of cheesecakes, it's a sight to behold. And of course, we have the usual suspects at the round table. Unfortunately, my co-host with the co-most has been locked in the Seaver room. The job has kept him hostage, so he won't be here. Maybe get a stink out later. We'll see if we get Lord Addict. But of course, we got our most technical gaming Lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. Semi-offline PS4 Pro Illuminati. My man, Lord Sovereign, how are we doing, sir?
Doing fantastic this week, man. Much better than last week, that's for sure. Under the table last week, man. So
it was a rough one.
Much better. Yeah, it was definitely a rough one. Too many LeBlans.
That's right. We got you out of the sea of sickness now. You good now.
Yeah. The funny thing was that afterwards, like Lord Marlonius, shout out to Lord Marlonius and my wife. They were fine. They were good. I was the only one that was affected. So my wife, God bless her, she immediately like, well, okay, we're not going there ever again. I'm like, speak for yourself, woman.
Hold thy tongue, woman.
Yeah. What? Are you crazy? I was like, they can poison me. They can poison me 7 days a week. I don't care.
I've been here 10 times. It's only happened once. So I can take that ratio.
Exactly. I'm the problem. I was the issue, not them. I was the problem.
Exactly. Shout out to Rodizio.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. And of course, the excess gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord who is a man of his convictions and demands nothing less than the premium experience.
Ooh.
Beloved, Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
What's going on, guys? How's everything? Well, it seems like this sickness is going around. Give everybody an update on Sir Benjamin Johnson. He has pneumonia. Went to the vet. Yeah, so he's doing well. He's on the mend. So yesterday he was really vocal, hanging out, partying with the king. So, but he's taking his medicine, so he's doing well now. Last night in combat sports, Amanda Nunes, oh man, you pulled that one out. UFC stand up. I know the main event didn't go how y'all wanted it to go, as far as Johnson fighting. But listen, hey, next time, stuff happens. His opponent couldn't get cleared to fight. I'm not well versed on UFC, so anybody can jump in and and school me on it.
I'm impressed you watching Amanda Nunes. She's the one that knocked out Ronda. Like she dispatched her, right?
Yeah, I didn't like Ronda anyway, so I love Amanda. She's my favorite fighter as far as female fighters go. And also in boxing, Chocolatito, the man that they was talking about at one time was pound for pound, and I thought he was a fluff champion. Turned out to be just that. My man Sochek B-Side gave him the business. And the reason why I know his name, because I kept making jokes about his name, calling him the B-side of the album. So his name is Sochek B-Side. Stand up.
That name is original. Let's just say that.
Yes, it is. 4th round knockout. He was giving them the Hayachi doodle maker shots. It was ill. It was a great night in combat sports. And I snuck my Destiny in between that.
Oh, we gonna get into that.
Yes, sir.
And of course, one of the original Iron Lords, the hunter who helped build the Iron Lords movement from the very beginning, Mr. Haiti Ho himself. My man, Lord Zero, how we doing, sir?
Doing pretty good, homie. Just been grinding the grind, don't stop, since Tuesday at midnight, man. And I am tired, but happy.
Stop, won't stop, baby. I hear you. I hear you.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to the Channel 5 clan for being complete and utter badasses of getting level 2 already.
Level 2, very impressive. Very impressive. Shout out to you with that Nightfall. Let's just say that Nightfall's been interesting. We'll get into that. No doubt. That was real nice to see. And of course, we have family to the round table. The PC enthusiast who moves like Zer in the 9 in these streets. So we're happy to see him when he appears in the wild. Mr. Bullets Rain himself. My man, Lord SWAT. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How's everyone? It's been
That's my bro right there, baby.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been
Spoke to the 9. Did the 9 let you loose today? I was impressed. Like,
my mind is not my own.
Well, they didn't let Zer out this week, so they're
I
like,
love when SWAT does
we can let
Zer
SWAT come out.
Weary popcorn.
No doubt. So a little rested, little weird. It's good to have you, man.
Yeah.
Good to have you always. And of course, it is Lord Cognito here spreading you that gaming realness on the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So before we get into what the Lords are playing, and we all know what
the Night King, right?
Oh, the Night King. That's true. I should run with that. You're right, Lord Zero. No, I know. Look, I'm gonna save it.
Fair enough.
So before we get into what the Lords are playing, and most likely all Destiny, and although Lord Ebontis is family to the round table, a lot of our tech family may be unfamiliar with him. So I want to first start off with Lord Ebontis, his video game system history, and what inspired that amazing Destiny YouTube channel. So Lord Ebontis, give me some of those early systems. What got you into gaming?
Oh, me, I started all the way back on NES, so 8-bit Nintendo sitting upstairs. Oh, yeah. It's as far back as I go, but I mean, yeah.
Nice.
I remember the first game was like, that's where it was like either bought or rented, like Mario Golf or whatever. Just this little, man, that thing looks like crap now if you go back and look at that. It's terrible. But I mean, SNES is when I definitely got into it, playing things like Super Metroid, still one of my favorite games of all time. Chrono Trigger. I mean, I just like all types of games. Like, so I've been playing a lot, so got PlayStation. I've had most of the consoles over time, except probably my buddy had Dreamcast, so I didn't get that one. Didn't last that long. But I've had PlayStations, Xboxes, Nintendos, had them all. So cover a lot of gaming and usually try and keep up with most. So
nice. So you started from the NES era, and then now my question is: Did you kind of stay the course with NES then Super NES, or you just still multi-platform even back then?
I mean, I was NES, SNES, N64, and then when PlayStation 2 finally started again, I didn't have PlayStation 1, so I started with PlayStation 2. And then I had the OG Xbox, and then at that point after that, I probably had them all.
Gotcha. So the Sega kids want to know. No Genesis in there?
No, never got into that, so I missed that one. I missed that wagon. Right. That's all right. You guys can have your
we'll get that Sega fan base back for you. No. So what about the now tell us about what prompted that amazing channel, because I call you the Nightfall soloist. You're the first person I've seen doing Nightfalls solo. So like was that part of the inspiration, or like just the love of Destiny? Like what inspired the Ebontis YouTube channel?
I mean, it was more just from, I took a break from what I was doing for career for a little while. So I took a break and wanted to see how that was going to go. And then just the idea of things that I knew I could at least accomplish. And it was the challenge, because after a while in Destiny, we all get to the point where unless you're just going to start chirping people and things like that, you get to a point where you kind of know most things. So it's hard to find a challenge after a while, because if you know the raids and you have a good team, even those you can knock out really fast. But a solo Nightfall, depending on the modifiers, can be a bit of a challenge. So really trying to break those down. And it was for people who didn't always have others to play with, because we know it's not always something that everybody has a group to play with. So I played a lot all the time and was trying to help many people out. And it's always nice to see the comments on the channel when people are like, hey, thanks to your videos, I was finally able to knock out my first solo Nightfall. Those are the really cool ones to see. Always just helping people out, giving them guides. So I talk all the way through my Nightfalls. So while I'm actually trying to do this thing, I'm actually trying to have a cohesive discussion of here's where these people are going to enter. This is the type of damage you want to do to the boss. And it really kind of break it down and get to know the playthroughs really, really well. So it was just my way to give the people the information. So if they were going to attempt it solo, hopefully to have the best success possible.
Nice, man. You do a fantastic job. Like I said, I studied a lot. I learned about the Void Walker builds through you when he's doing Prison of Elders, with the kind of like just getting your health and getting grenades and scatters, and oh man, that's such a fun build. I don't know if you remember the Nothing Manacles one.
Oh, Nothing Manacle Scatter build. Yeah, that's just too much fun. When they finally threw Daybreak in there towards the end of Destiny 1, you couldn't have much more fun than that if it was a Void Burn.
Absolutely. Cool. And I want to bring it back to the Lords. So usually I ask what the Lords are playing, so I'm going to ask it differently. Other than Destiny, what have the Lords been playing? Let's start with Lord Sovereign.
Mario Rabbids. I know you guys talked about it last week, and
I really want to play that too.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of it's fire. I mean, and as me being someone who doesn't play RTS games, I figured if this game was good, it was gonna get me into it. I have a long-standing beef with RTSs, thanks to Lord Cognito and Lord Kaibatsu.
Really? Hold on, I never knew about this.
You're being blamed for this. But back in the day, as you guys have heard in the past, Saturdays were relegated for game playing, and most of the time we go over to Lord Cognito's house and we'd be playing wrestling, a Halo, or Tekken, or anything like that. So every now and again, you'd arrive at Lord Cognito's house, and he'd be on the PlayStation 1 controller with like 4 guys huddled around him. And they'd be playing the most disgusting looking game ever. And I'm like, what the hell is this? They were playing XCOM on the original PlayStation, which graphically, it has to be one of the ugliest games you'll ever see in your life. And they essentially folded my Saturday night. I'm going to expect to wrestle to get my Tekken on. No. And at that point in time, it just wasn't for me. I couldn't get into it. So like 15 minutes into the session, I'm passed out somewhere in the room.
Yep, right in the corner.
You're soft. I never knew this. I never knew you had disdain for the XCOM days.
As a result,
King is big speaking up too.
Yeah, no. I loved it. You know, when he was pissed off with it because he said he came to do the wrestling and the Tekken. I hated when y'all was doing Madden. I hated it.
Oh yeah, I hated Madden.
Yeah, I was forced. So when y'all found XCOM, I was like, I'm into this. Let's go.
The XCOM was funny because, just real quick synopsis for the chat. It was because we would literally create each of our own characters and name them individually. And people would be like, okay, move me behind that building there, crouch me down, and put me on Overwatch. So everybody's trying to stay alive because it was permadeath in that game. It was just a stupid little game. And yes, graphically, it was horrible. But once we found out about the permadeath and all the little funny things, people really started to get into it. I didn't know that the disgust was real, man.
And I carried over for years. I'm like, I'm not playing any RTSs. Forget this, man.
I'm never gonna forget that time Lord Sinister threw the grenade because he panicked inside the ship and killed everybody.
I remember that. I was like, haha, good for y'all.
Oh man, no doubt. Lord King, whatever, other than Destiny, what have you been playing this week?
Y'all gonna laugh at me, man. I've been trying to finish that No Horizon Dawn, Zero Horizon Dawn, whatever, man. It's like, yeah, man, it's like pulling teeth, man. But I jumped on my PC. I've been doing some PC elitist stuff on the side, like because I got this BC PC, and again, like I was playing Destiny. and I had to stop because I was doing a 4K at 80 frames per second, and I said, you know what, this is gonna spoil me, so I need to step away.
Lord, Eric, yeah, he's got the Horizon trash done. Oh my God, he's starting already. Horizon mini yawns. I'm done.
Yes, he's crazy.
Many yawns.
He's done. Lord Zero, what have you been playing? Other than
Destiny.
Yeah. We'll move on.
He said something else came out?
I played YouTube for a bit
Oh my
during
God.
a break.
The addiction is real, y'all. We'll see
Other
what you got
games
to say.
exist. I didn't get this memo.
I feel you. Lord SWAT, have you touched anything else outside of Destiny?
I feel bad. I'm gonna run through it because okay, so there's Warhammer Dawn of War 3.
Oh, yes.
Then
Nice.
I picked up Blade and Soul,
Okay.
which is like a Chinese MMO.
Okay.
Then I picked up Guild Wars 2 because a friend bought that for me and my girlfriend.
Nice.
Then I picked up PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is phenomenal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
chicken dinner. Let's go. Chicken dinner.
I had a friend pick me up a copy of Minecraft, so I tried that for like 10 minutes. Then there's Escape from Tarkov, which is, for those of you who don't know, this is PUBG on crack. It's a Russian game. It's really early in its inception, so it's like $40 to pick it up, but it's well worth it if you're really into like a survival shooter where you could potentially sit in one spot for 3 hours just trying to fight, have a firefight with someone. Let's see. Other than that, Observer.
That's a lot, man. I'm impressed. And Lord Ebontis, should I dare ask anything else other than Destiny 2?
Since Tuesday, no.
My man, keep it in mind.
No, trust me, honestly, a couple of things you guys mentioned though, like PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I've been playing that a decent amount before it came out, and then I've got to dig into Mario plus Rabbids as soon as I get a break, but that's probably going to be next year sometime.
Someone's going to have to share that
He
Steam
said
ID.
next year.
Next year.
No.
That depends on how long the grind goes, but yeah, I definitely want to play Mario plus Rabbids because it looks a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it's real fun, y'all. It's real fun. Real quick for me, the only thing it's other than Destiny has been when I'm not home playing Destiny at work, which has been Switch. So it's which has been Mario Rabbids. But shout out to Lord Requeno, Lord Kaibats, who I've just got this addiction to Splatoon 2. And it just started out of nowhere. Like, I think actually shout out to Lord Alexander. He started it. And I was just playing. And once you get past level 3 or 4, like everything opens up. And he started realizing like this game is kind of deep on the low. So I was really getting into it. So he was getting a little competition, popping mess on Twitter, sending little screenshots when we killed him.
How the voice chat go?
Oh, the voice chat was fantastic on Xbox Live.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, so you linked up and you was talking about what you were doing because you could.
Shout out to Facebook Messenger, Discord, all the other services that Nintendo does not provide, so that I can communicate with my friends. But other than that, all right, we're gonna move this thing on. Let's real quick with the results. Last week's poll results are in. The people have spoken to the question: when new titles are announced and Xbox One X game specs are revealed to not hit a 4K 60 frames per second target, who do you subject the most blame? The winner at 55% strong, razor close and controversial poll. The people blame Xbox for all that most powerful console / uncompromised 4K talk. In a very, very close second place at 45% was the lazy developers bad optimization group. So thanks to everybody who participated in the poll. Twitter was going at it. What do the Lords think about these results?
Well, I'm gonna jump in real quick. Lord Al Rand, the man with the million, he posted something yesterday, and I have to give him all the credit in the world because I didn't know this. He said a guy at Microsoft, a worker, a fan of Quantum Break, did the patch for Quantum Break with the 4K by himself. It wasn't sanctioned by Microsoft. He did it on the side. So yeah, so when one person can sit there and do it on the side, yeah, default has to lie with Microsoft if they're not imposing this and putting, their best text on the games to to get these 4K patches and get them up and running and get it out the door. So yeah, shout out to
Glad, man,
RAM
I
for
hear you.
putting that out.
It was definitely controversial. I'm curious, real quick, Lord Sav, your feel on those results, and
Yeah, I
very
think.
curious. I know we had discussions in the past about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always say that I'll never call a developer lazy. I mean, a developer is always going to try to put their best foot forward when it comes to how their game looks and runs, and it's a lot of it is going to have to be on the console manufacturer side to give them that help, especially with the X. So I mean, it's something that, again, it has to lie with Microsoft, and it's something that we talked about when we first learned about the specs of the X1X and how it was going to be upgrading games. We said, well, I felt that Microsoft was going to be something that didn't even have to be stated. The fact that they would help as much as they can to make sure that all those games would be up to par, even if the developer wasn't able to do it, because the fact of the matter is that's how you push a narrative of what that system is. And so they need to do it. They need to do it. And if it's not being done on every third-party game, they need to figure a way to do it, because that's if you're going to push this narrative with the X that it's going to be the best place to play all your third-party stuff, you really need to make sure all of those older games are running as well as they possibly can.
Facts. And real quick, Lord Ebontis, I was curious about your. And I know you weren't there for the initial question, but did you?
What was the initial question? I guess
well, pretty much when like a lot of Xbox One X games get announced, and initially, some of them are not hitting either the 4K native or the 60 frames per second target. The question was, who do you most blame? Because there was a lot of discussion in the Twitterverse. A lot of people were like, hey, these developers are lazy, they're not optimizing the system. And other people were like, no, it's not that. It's Microsoft, for making these statements that it's the most powerful console ever. Yada yada yada. So that what the poll was pretty much about. So based on that limited information,
based on that, give me a complete discussion and have a great insight into this wonderful thing. No,
just give me exactly.
Just go.
Just give me just go.
I mean, honestly, it's new for like Xbox One X is new. I don't know how long dev kits have been out there and things like that, but any game that might be announced and released to be coming soon outside something that like in-house for Forza, they're going to have access to that dev kit and the idea of what's going to happen before. So they're going to have it running 4K, sure, and Forza is a really optimized game anyway. But for third parties, they're getting into it a little more, and they want to make sure their game runs well on a larger player base probably first, than focusing on the X. So it's like, yeah, the push probably does need to come from Microsoft to make sure it does. But again, as it's this early into the release, not everything is going to have that push quite as upfront, unless Microsoft gave them that stuff 3 years ago when they started making the game. So my guess would be, I feel like you guys are probably not too far. It's like Xbox needs to make sure, and Microsoft, I should say, needs to make that push if they really want that to be. One of you guys said it right. If they want this to be like the narrative behind their platform, that it's the best way, they need to do everything in their power to make sure it is. So I kind of agree with that one, actually. I forget which one of you guys said that, but that was actually well stated.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we ain't gonna stay on this too long. We got a lot to talk about, and it's a big show. So we're gonna move on. So we're gonna get into these topics, and of course, my brother from another mother, Lord Addict, he is not with us, but we're gonna rock with his topic. And obviously, it has been the launch of Destiny 2 this week, and we've got a lot to talk about. So first, want to get into our overall impressions. We want to get into what we enjoy about it so far, and obviously we're gonna talk story. We're not gonna get too crazy because obviously it's a couple of lords who have not completed the campaign. I believe Lord SWAT and Lord Sovereign, but we want to discuss a little bit about that. So I want to give it to Lord Ebontis first. Destiny 2, the release is finally here. We waited all this time for one of our favorite games. Talk to me, Lord Ebontis. How you feeling about it?
Well, I haven't stopped playing it pretty much unless I've been outside of work, so my wife is probably loving me for that, but I told her many times in advance, so it's like she's been pretty cool about it. No, honestly, it's been amazing. I mean, the fact that I'll just sit at the menu screen and kind of forget that I'm staring at the menu screen and listen to the soundtrack alone, it's amazing. Soundtrack alone is so good. The sound design for the guns, the abilities, the jumps, the grenades, everything is really, really well. It's just taken to the next level. I mean, they took a sequel and stuff that was already good. They kicked it up a notch when it wasn't even necessary on those pieces. The story is cohesive. We'll get into some of that stuff later, but I do think like it's not the vagary that was vanilla Destiny. So there is a comprehension understanding as to at least what happens in the story. You're aware of it. Was there things I wish there was more of? Sure, but we'll get into that as we go around the room. The worlds have been, they're unique. They're big. They're a lot bigger than I thought. There's a lot more to them, especially if you go for all the lost sectors and things like that. There's a lot more to explore. Each one, even that's why I like going to the lost sectors, because you'll go down and find almost like a completely new texture palette in a place that's not where it's supposed to be, which is kind of cool. The challenges, the gear, the progression so far. We'll save your topic about getting all colorful for the next one.
Yes, that will be coming later. And then Lord SWAT will have stuff to say about
it. I have enjoyed. I don't want to steal everything. I could sit here and talk for entire 2 hours. So I'm like, I'm really enjoying it. I'll let you guys jump in and say what you guys are going to say. But so far, I mean, 2 thumbs up for me. I'm not a tough critic on this one. It's not perfect by any means, but I mean, for a sequel to make just about everything better, yes. So whoever wants to go next, then I'm sure we'll keep talking.
All right, let's get Lord King in here. Let's get Lord King in the room.
I thought the game was incredible. As far as being a day one Destiny 1 player, vanilla Destiny, I didn't even remember when that became a thing. After the DLC and people was excluded from playing certain activities with their friends, and I knew in the beginning the first Destiny was held back from the old systems, and this show, oh man, the vision. Like the first time I saw the Hive in part 2, I said, "Oh, this is how they really wanted them to look," because instead of them looking like skeletons come to life, no, it's actual bone armor on top of them. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh, okay." And then the movement of the fallen, the scurrying across the floor to stand up, and
how they rush you, how they get low.
Creepy, man. They're like a horror movie.
Yes, exactly. This is what I was trying to say. Like in the beginning, when you're playing by yourself, you have the headphones on and you're in the dark, and the feeling is of a Del Toro horror film. And I said, wow, they nailed it perfectly. The story cutscenes leading into it brought you closer to the story. I was like, whoa, this is deeper, way deeper. They had enough time to focus on all faults and rectify any graphical problems that they was having before. The 30 frames per second versus the 60 frames per second will always be an argument, but I know why they had to do such things is because they're being held back by the current base systems. The current base systems aren't as limiting as the older systems because what was the cache was 512 megabits cache that they had to work around, opposed to now the cache is a lot higher that they can pull with the textures and everything. So the world looks diverse. You see the foliage. That's what blew me away. When I went to each zone and each world had a life of its own, it was fantastic for me.
Yes, that uniqueness.
And then my biggest problems before is we needed an app to find out when public events was happening.
It's been amazing.
And yes, the fact that the public events right now is a scheduled thing that I fly from, and listen, fast traveling is a godsend. From point A to point B to when you get your scooter, and the scooter controls is fantastic. They got tighter. You can take those corners because now the geometry of the world is so open and it's so diverse that the control of the bike is better. So you can take those corners and dip and turn and slide and go on I'm in love with the game. I know y'all can hear it in my voice, and I'll be waiting for the raid. I'm actually 270 now.
What light is right?
Yes, I'm a monster in these streets, and I got a couple of tricks down packed. So I'm gonna take Lord Sovereign under the wing. We're gonna finish that story, and we're gonna appreciate this game together.
No doubt. Speaking of which, let me get Lord Sarv in because he's
Ah,
the noob to this crack that we call Destiny,
that's
starting day one. Like you were there initially towards the end of vanilla, but like day one. And I also want to pose this question to you when you after you give your impressions. I want you to pose this question. The chat made a good point. They want to know. I want to know your feelings specifically about the main protagonist not speaking. Lord Chief Tommy's in the chat. He wanted to know our feeling about that. So I was curious also how you felt about that. So first, your impressions, Lord Sarv.
Well, as somebody who fell off of Vanilla Destiny pretty early on, I'm impressed with it. I'm pretty hooked on it, to be honest. So you can keep your walking papers, Lord Anchor. Thank you very much. I'm here to stay.
Yeah, he came for your neck.
But yeah, honestly, I mean, I think the game improves on even the best aspects of Destiny 1. Obviously the story has been more fleshed out. It's still, a little over the top kind of popcorny stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I love being a Titan because, I'm a big Captain America fan. So the Sentinel subclass, I love that.
There you go.
But again, like Zavala, Cade, I can't stand these people, honestly, because Cade is Nathan Fillion. Like Nathan Fillion plays the same role in everything that he does. Same thing with Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick is the same in everything that he does. It's the same person. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like whatever. Honestly, the coolest character in the campaign for me is Dominus Gall, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's like a roided out, Halo grunt mixed with like Darth Vader. And he
don't forget some Bane. He got some Bane in it. You see the pictures with the Bane?
Got some Bane in
and the
it.
grunt?
It absolutely has some Bane in there. So, but to me, like what I wanted from them is like the smaller character moments. And that moment near the beginning of the game where he's talking to his right-hand man and telling him how his victory is also, he shares it with him. And it was like a very cool conversation with him. I said, okay, they get it. They get that the story is going to resonate when you have like these smaller moments, and especially with your antagonist, if you give him a real reason for, and not just being purely evil for the sake of being evil, it makes them that much more interesting. So that hooked me very quickly. The gameplay is, again, the best shooting in the business. There really is. You can't really say much else about that. The gunplay mechanics are fantastic, and the game runs beautifully. Like Ebontis said, like the worlds are really varied. I've only gotten up until Titan. I haven't seen anything beyond that, but everything I've seen so far, like especially like the EDZ when I first got there, it gave me like this Last of Us vibe, Last of Us vibe.
Shout out to my man Devrin in the church.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it just, and the fact, honestly, I'm a little pissed off that there's no HDR at launch because these set pieces, these settings would really benefit. Yeah, it would look fantastic, especially when you go underground and you have a lot of that, light versus dark. You have a lot of.
It had me
a
fooled.
lot of shadow.
You could have lied to me, right?
I
told me HDR was enabled.
Last night I said to myself, "Oh, look at this HDR in effect."
I was like, "Oh, it's not HDR, damn it." So, but it would look that much better.
Hold on 1 second. Lord Eggman, why is Devrim from the EDZ races? I have to know the answer.
Because he likes tea and crumpets.
Oh, because he severely disrespecting my fallen. I'll say Lord Egg is a fallen. Sorry, continue. No. So you could have
fallen. Yeah, so honestly, to be perfectly honest, I'm in. I'm excited to see what's coming up. I probably won't be raid ready by Wednesday, but hopefully by the end of next week I'll be there. And that's what I really want to experience, because I never did any of that in Destiny 1. I never got to do any of that. I honestly didn't really get to do any strikes either. So I want to get into that stuff. I'll try to finish the story as quickly as I possibly can. But,
I got you. I got you.
Right,
but I'm in. So you'll be seeing me talk about that.
Coming from the single player selfish experience that Lord Sovereign is, that means a lot. Yeah, so that's good. Lord Zero, you are up next. What are your impressions? Week 1.
Vast improvement in every way whatsoever on Destiny 1. Far better. And I say that this is somebody who, adored the first game to death. I played it pretty much until they were like, "Hey, Destiny 2 is coming out." And then, as the Lords know, I kind of took a break so I can, get not so burnt out on the whole idea of the franchise until this came out. So I was refreshed when I came in, and my God, this game is it's so good. It's blowing me away. It really is. I think the fact that I'm like pushing 280 light right now kind of says that.
Yeah.
But
Wow. Facts.
Well, I got
Facts, man.
275 just yesterday. So
I hear you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny listening to Passion and Lord Zero right now, because I just want to jump in a little bit on your point that
yeah, go ahead.
how you felt as a Destiny guy who's been there from the very beginning. To me, just loading it up and getting those moments of where
Oh
you
my
were.
Lord.
oh, that was so well done.
I'm not going to front. Lord Cognito got emotional. I was like, wow. Like, not only did it document when I did it, who was in my fire team when you completed, you know what I'm saying? Lord King had me, you, and two people there with your old squad from the Crota raid. I was like, that's what Lord King had me up, son. Like, that was my
I was like, yo, come here, sit in the corner and shoot a rocket when I tell you
shoot a rocket. Just shoot a rocket or sequence. And I'm like, because I was like, I don't know, man. I'm not ready for this raid, because vanilla, like a lot of little people don't know, Destiny, I was kind of cooled off from it after I didn't understand how the end game was.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lord Sinister, shout out to Lord King. They were like, listen, man, you got to do your first raid, and we did it and completed it. And I was just like, wow. So just to see those moments relived, I thought was such a special touch by Bungie for the hardcore.
It was funny because Lord Cognito was in the room and the people I was with was looking at his sneakers like, what are those?
Yo, Lord Ebontis, it was so bad. They were so, like, let me tell you something about, like, Destiny will judge you as a fashion judging community, right? So I'm in the room with blues and all my Walmart gear on, and these guys got, Light Beyond Nemesis and, Saint 14 helmets.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm feeling bad. So they were like, so what does your friend have? Like, they asked Lord King, like, what is Lord King? And I'm like, don't even look at my loadout. All right.
Don't look.
Don't even look.
I said, he's just here for the free stuff. Don't mind him. So he was the original free perk dude.
That was free stuff.
Yeah, he's like, what are we doing today so I can get the free stuff? And I'm like, listen, there's no problem as long as you're playing, because I was Loot Cave day one. When that Loot Cave happened, I didn't do anything else in the game. I found the Loot Cave by myself on some little side stuff, and I stood there for 12 hours farming by myself. Till they fixed it, I farmed. I didn't play any of the game. I was looking for loot caves this time. I'm going to tell you now. I was out here actively looking. They sealed up all the holes.
Well, this got the loot caves. You just run into the dead zone, and you got that little cash code you got to pick up. Yeah, that's about as loot cave as you're going to get.
So I'm sorry, Lord Zero. You brought a lot of feels back. I interrupted you. You brought a lot of feels.
Oh no, you're right. Like that whole memories thing hit kind of hard, man. Because excuse me, for what a lot of people don't know, or they know, but may not get, is for people who were there from like the very beginning, like the vast majority of us. That was 3 years of dedication. I was just flashed in front of you. Those are accomplishments and like, for instance, when the Vaulted Glass thing came up, right? And then you completed the Vaulted Glass, and for me it was on launch day, and I sat there, I was like, well, fuck, man, that was so long ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday because it was such a good gaming memory, right? And then you look at the people you did it with, and I saw that, I was like, well, damn, man, I still talk to these people too. And on most games,
don't talk to those people. I ain't gonna lie, there was a couple. I was like, I don't even talk to that person.
Oh yeah, memories.
Just gotta keep it real. The Lord's gotta keep it real. That's what.
Yeah, no, you're good. But I still keep in touch with those people, and very, 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 very few games will, connect people in that kind of way. If you hop into, I used to be like really big into multiplayer on Halo Reach, right? And there was a group of people who I would get on there, and we would do multiplayer all the time. We didn't, it was like a different experience. We don't you know, it wasn't like, it was just a different feeling altogether, if that makes sense. Like because the thing is with the raid, it's like you have to have that camaraderie, and you have to, you know, work together and be able to situation, or else you're just gonna like have a horrible time, right?
Yeah.
So you make friends doing it, and it's a great experience. It really is.
Facts. And shout out to Lord Frodo, even you, Lord Zero. I mean, think about this real quick before I give it to you, so I know I'm talking a lot. Think about what this game has done. Like, I've never seen a game that I've played for 3 years plus, right? Then made all these amazing friends. Like, I met Lord Ebontis because of Destiny. How crazy is that, right? We went to another state to celebrate our favorite game.
Like Guardian Con,
right?
Or whatever it is.
And
we did a lot of things.
Yeah, like we sitting there, we're talking to each other, and I'm like, I like this guy. He knows his Destiny, and we just kicked it, you know. And it was just a cool thing. And like I said, I think the King's foray for me with the with Frodo, I remember bonding with him on hard mode when we finally did it, and I'm like, yo, you're in Channel 5, bro. Like it felt like we went through Vietnam together. Like you go through something, like you really felt it. Like you was like, yo, that's my guy right there. Like shout out to Monkey Lovins. You know what I mean? Like
Hot Monkey Lovins, that's my man.
You know what I mean? Sinister. It's so many people. Like you have no idea. Like it's something about this game. That's why, as funny as I used to be a hater of Destiny, no one can tell me anything because I know. Lord Spot, you're up next. Like think about what it did for us and Pat, like all the stuff we used to do. You know what I'm saying? Trials and Lord Spot, it's yours. Go ahead. I'll be in my feelings all over.
Yeah, no, it definitely did have that feeling because I remember seeing when I was scrolling through them, I could see when all the time that I was just solo playing, not having anyone to play with, and all of a sudden when I started actually playing with you guys, and all of a sudden it's like Crota and you know Taken King and Oryx and all these different things, and all of a sudden I'm seeing full like parties built out, and I'm like, I know I really did play with those guys a lot. But,
Facts.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that really kind of stands out to me is how they basically built themselves a blank canvas for this. You know, they have so much in there already, but they have so much that they can do and so much that they can go into. I think that it really stands out for the Testament of Destiny that, you know, they're trying to build something that they can work on and expand on for years to come. And you know, I'm going to be very happy to have the ability of playing on the Xbox and the PC and being able to kind of have that freedom and to see just where the game is going to go. I'm very excited for the time to come with Destiny 2.
Real quick before we move into everyone's favorite topic of ShaderGate, does anyone have a problem with the main antagonist not speaking? Just anybody can do it.
No, there's reasons why he's not speaking. It's not like a Halo game where you're Master Chief, you're your own entity, and to go into giving him a voice and doing all that other stuff to it, I think it will take away and it will distract from the actual core story.
Facts. Anyone else? Jump in on that too?
When Gaul took his light, he also took his voice.
I'm done with you. He said Gaul took his voice.
Jesus Christ.
You're the best. That's the best.
I sit there and I think and I wonder, and I've gone through some of those moments where the ghost chimes in. And honestly, if you're Guardian, even if there were like different recordings, whatever it is, had some camaraderie back and forth, I feel like you would even be attached more to the game if there was some type of discussion back and forth when you sit there and talk about failsafe. And then later on, if you were just walking around and all of a sudden there was a discussion between you and him, or if you're flying it, I'd actually really be curious to see if I know they won't, from all the things I've heard, it's meant to be you're your own Guardian, so you're meant to put your own thoughts in there. But I mean, you think about Mass Effect and something like that, to where they have a main character that you're going to have, and it's full dialogue. You've got The Witcher, same thing. There's actual, like, all those things are already taken care of. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't take me out of the world even more. I just actually feel like I know what that character sounds like now. So personally, I would actually like to see a voice in there. But so I'm kind of with whoever was saying that in chat. I wish there were certain times where I wish it was there, because there's some comments when you sit there and back and forth, it's like an open-ended thing from the ghost, and it's like, and if I would just like say what I'm sitting there, like if I'm live on Twitch or something and I say something, if my Guardian said something there that would be, I feel like what fits, like that would just kind of nail the joke or anything even better.
Oh, part 3. Part 3. Destiny 3.
Part 3.
There you go. Destiny 3. You get a voice.
You had anything for that, for the antagonist? Or you good?
I just wish the ghost was funnier. He tries to be funny and he's not funny.
You damn dinko ass.
It doesn't even have anything to do with Nolan North or whatever. It's just,
writing.
Nolan North or whoever. I don't know. I don't care. Whoever does the voice, I don't damn. But whoever does it, it's just their lines that they have, man. They're just not funny. And if they try to be funny, and
I laugh so hard in this game.
You know this. I get it. Dinklebot has such a good following. I don't know. I always laugh. I don't know. I just think it's funny. Continue.
You guys laugh at Failsafe?
Failsafe.
Yeah, I love Failsafe.
Oh, I love Failsafe. Yes.
Oh,
Failsafe is hilarious.
You know what's my man? The what's it? Ikora's warlock friend that be hating on.
Oh,
Asher.
Yeah.
I love Asher.
I love that
That's
dude.
my man right there. He don't like Titan.
A Zavala solution is to headbutt it.
All right, real quick before we move on to ShaderGate. I know we're gonna just leave this for those who have finished that can comment. We'll try to do as non-spoilery as possible. How did we feel about the conclusion, the ending, and the
You mean the climax? You mean the climax?
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's non-spoilery.
I'm just gonna mute
I'm
you
sorry,
guys.
I'm gonna spoil the hell out of it. Mute yourself.
Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him, King.
Look at the screen. Look at your screen, and I'm gonna say, "Come back now."
It's the statute of limit. The game is like 3 days out. It should be a statute of limitation.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's one day embargo. That's it.
Look, if you don't grind and lose sleep, your eyes aren't bleeding. You don't play
it's not
like
about
that.
4-year-old crackheads. I mean,
Listen, I'm sorry. I need my fix. I got those too.
Let's just say this. Were we happy with the ending, Lord King?
Oh, so you talk about when Gaul? Nah. when Gaul ripped the light out. Let me tell you something. We know that Gaul gonna get that light. He about that light. So that should not come to anybody's surprise. Lord, he told the story. Man, he about getting that light. So he stole that light. What I like is how he has the speaker all crunched up in a little box. And he unfolds them like a little transformer, like a little Rubik's Cube. I said, wow. I said, this is the beastiest thing, because usually when we fight in beasts, they just come when we're fighting, and it's not no capture. This is a capture situation. And he's interrogating this dude like, no, what I got to do to get him to love me? I'm like, what? I could take it by brute force, but I really want him to just give in to me. I'm like, yes. I said, this dude is on some Thanos joint. He's Thanos.
Thanos. Yup, you're right. That is a great parallel.
I said, this is the best villain ever. And when he choked out his man, because his man said, yo, enough with this BS. I'm tired of you with this BS. And he said, yo, listen, man, we're going to do it another way. He's like, no. You going to get in there, you going to do what you said. And I'm like, what the
Say it with
hell?
your chest.
It was, honestly, that was when I stood up in front of my television and clapped. I said, this is the most beastiest, craziest dude that we've ever encountered. Other people had a clear agenda. His agenda, he wanted to be accepted by the light, and he looked at us as inferior beings. And why are we chosen?
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, that's right. I'm giving out spoilers. Sorry, guys. You should have ended it. That's right. Spoilers is in the building. No, but I'm gonna take Sovereign through the game today, and he's gonna notice that really I didn't give too much spoilers, but you knew he was getting a light.
I'll say this. If it goes against what you would normally expect from like a sci-fi movie, whatever, where the good guy wins, if it goes against that, I'm good. Like if Gaul wins at the end, yes, give me that. Let him win.
Oh, so then you're gonna love this.
We go quick. Lord Ebontis, what was your overall impressions of said ending?
Trying not to say too much here. That's
Well, we could just start from were you pleased? Were you wanted more? Did you?
No, I was like, honestly, the progression of Gaul was really, really cool. As you were saying, just what the character went through. You actually got to see development of a villain. Think about so many of the Marvel movies. That's the one major thing wrong with so many of them is a undeveloped villain. And they spent the time to put so many cutscenes in there, so we got to see the reasons why with Gaul. So his secret isn't safe.
Yeah, what was his motivations?
Yeah, so you actually get to see the motivation behind, as opposed to the vagary of who knows what. But all I can say, no spoilers. There's a shape out in space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. Basically, all I can say is when the game finishes, it made me wonder what comes next.
Yes.
So
that part felt Marvel Cinematic Universe to me. I was like,
yeah. So all I can say is I enjoyed it.
We know what that is, though. We know what that is.
Yeah, we have a pretty good idea from what I've looked at, but maybe
we're still waiting on the Hive Queen.
Oh yes! Wow! Yes, they got a long.
I mean,
Emperor.
Slap my man.
It's like, yeah, between Hive Queen and Emperor, yeah, there's some big stuff out there.
All right, Lodi, I'm sorry.
No.
When you finish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I enjoyed it. I probably made it harder on myself because there were some things I didn't pick up in the final mission. But yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about spoilers.
I'm gonna jump in right quick because I'm gonna surprise y'all. Like, I guess coming into this whole situation, obviously being a Destiny fan, knowing, always getting criticized, what's the thing people hate about Destiny the most was it has no story, right? All Destiny fans hear that all the time. Has no story. So I came in with extremely low expectations, right? So as I'm playing it, and guys like King and a couple people are telling me that they finished it, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Right? And I'm like, "Really? Story?" You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people I know, they like, shout out to Bella, from RGM. So many people like the story. Oh my god. So I'm like, okay. And I'm playing it, and it's very Halo-esque, right? I felt the campaign for a lot of vibes from Halo, which is, I feel, a good thing. I'm like, that's good. Now, as I got to end, I'm like, okay, I see what's going on. I will say I was a little disappointed in how things wrapped up. I felt things kind of wrapped up a little too quickly. That's just one little minor nitpick. Once I got to the end, I'm like, all right, I see what they're doing here. Epilogue, I see what's going on. Okay. But again, I wasn't really wild. I was just like, this is solid, right? Until I spoke to my man, Lord Dizzy. I got to shout Lord Dizzy.
Here we go.
So Zero knows where I'm going with this. Now, as y'all all know, I am a disciple of Osiris. You know what I'm saying? So I was laughing during the cinematics when Gaul had the speaker trapped up. I'm like, yeah, get him, unmask him, drag him through the street like Zoom did Flash. Like, I'm all about that.
That's evil.
Yes, I don't like this. Ebontis knows we've had that, ILPs in the past. SWAT knows, Zero knows. Like, I do not like him. Any man that does not show his face, I don't have any respect for him. To me, he's a false prophet. I don't know.
You don't like Spider-Man?
He don't show his face.
We spent like a straight 2 weeks trying to decide on what is going on around the speaker, like what could possibly be going on. Like, sitting in front of him and listening to everything he says.
No, when that dude said, I didn't say he spoke to me. That's charlatan.
That was crazy. Okay. So here's the thing. So all I'm gonna say is, for you people like me who never really cared, because shout out to Dizzy. After the game ends, you go to a certain place and you find out some things about the fate of said speaker. So my heart was like, wow, this is interesting. Then all I would tell people is to look at the state of the world post-end and look at how things are set up. Look at how people of certain factions are living very lavishly. And all I would say is, remember how Destiny 1 was set up. Remember where the speaker's location was. Remember what faction was next to the speaker. And all I got to say for all my Destiny 1 guys is when Destiny 2 ends and you end it, look at who you think might benefit the most if said speaker was gone. That's all I got to say. And if you put that theory together, you're going to laugh so hard because certain people are benefiting post ending of the game. That's all I'm going to say. We will revisit that. I was very happy. I'm very excited about what's going on, and also the eventual, which was already leaked, the Curse of Osiris DLC that will be coming in in December. So that's my thoughts on it. Lord Zero, Lord SWAT, you guys are up.
I'll hop in real
Well,
quick.
Lord Zero,
It's just
SWAT,
gonna be quick for me.
Yeah, you can take it.
I felt like the ending, the cinematics and everything for it, I felt a little let down. I'll be honest with you. I'm with Lord Cognito in the camp that it was just too quick of an ending.
Yeah.
The surprise at the end that Ebontis talked about with the space and well, the ship, the space, god damn it, the shape in space. God, Jesus. Anyway, that was, I mean, that honestly left me a little breathless because it was, that was unexpected and it was cool. I like that, right? The rest of it was just, it was kind of mediocre, I'll be honest. It wasn't great. The boss fight was also, again, mediocre. Wasn't really anything, I was able to sink that down by myself in 3 one-gun shots. It won't nothing. It was bad. Other than that, the story, as you go through it, is really, really good. I feel like it was, obviously it's a major improvement in every way. And, like Lord Anchor said in chat, rip the Grimoire, because they finally got the history and all that stuff going on in-game, which is great. It is fantastic. I like how if you pay attention during the strikes, they now tell like mini stories inside of themselves. And also, the Sabathun song one teases future things that could happen, which is fantastic. I think that's something that a lot of people sleep on, because there's a lot of history in that one. If you know, like if you were one of those people like myself who read the Grimoire, you know that there's a plethora of ways that could, come back in the future. So I think they did go with the story. I was a little let down by the end, though. Yeah, one of the strikes, the Sabathun song one.
Oh, I haven't even played that one yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll move on real quick. I know we've exhausted that, and we want to get this thing moving. We got still a couple more things to talk about. So I want to get into everyone's favorite topic, ShaderGate.
It's not a topic. We're moving on.
Yeah, don't say that to Lord Anchor, man. But yeah, so it's come to the attention, that it was Reddit streets were really buzzing that once Destiny 2 was launched and the shader system was discovered, we found out that there was a slight tweak. So as we know in the past, for those who are new to Destiny, shaders are something that you kind of earned in the wild through RNG. You applied, you change the color of your complete outfit. And now in Destiny 2, that has changed. So what has happened is we've been given the ability to now customize each item as opposed to the whole outfit itself with one shader and actually do that. However, it is now consumable in one-time use. And the community went a little crazy. They went a little wild. They were upset. And, they felt that, this is something that shouldn't have changed. They felt that, people were very upset as far as, saying that now they have to hold on to shaders, that a lot of stuff is RNG based, that some people are saying they're not getting shaders. So I want to bring this to the round table. ShaderGate, and also the actual aspect of microtransactions, also holding some shaders, not saying that you can't get them in the wild or in game, but they are available through our good friend Tess over at the top. So I'm gonna bring this to the Lords. Anyone can jump in when they want. ShaderGate. How do we feel?
I'll get my piece out of the way first. Are you saying the ShaderGate is stupid or what?
Yeah, this discussion is retarded. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically I was going to say, I think Luke Smith said it pretty well. And to sum it up, you guys are 3 days into the game. Take a few seconds. You're going to get plenty of shaders. Enjoy. Be quiet. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, man, look. I'm level 20, right? I was level 20 day one, okay? I'm setting at 277 light, okay? By 230-ish light, right? my goddamn inventory on my screen was full of goddamn shaders. Okay, people need to stop whining. Okay, I am at the point where my goddamn vault is full of shaders and my inventory is full of shaders. I'm sick of them. Yeah. I'm absolutely tired of them.
I'm right with you on that. Right? Yeah, it's not important. Listen, there is no reason. People need something to hold on to hate on, and if you're hating on shaders, God bless you. Because
hey, I mean, you got no problems in your life.
Exactly. That's it.
If you think about it, this is the worst thing that people have come up with. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
right. Thank you.
That's what I said, Lost. Well, actually, I said, as people who hated Destiny, if this is the outrage, I'm like, yo, they did a good job.
They did a great job. They like them shaded stuff.
Going on that second part of your question, there, Lord Cognito, about the microtransactions.
Yes.
People need to calm the hell down. When you hit level 20, every time you level up, you can get all of that shit for free. Stop bitching. Jesus Christ.
275, leveled up, I don't know how many times. I've got an exotic sparrow. I've got a legendary sparrow. By the way, small note, have you guys got any sparrows that instantly load?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Oh, that is freaking amazing.
Yeah, when you hop on them, they reload your weapons.
Yeah, you hit it.
Yeah.
Square, and it's just like instant go, and I was like, oh, this is great. That's like quality of life.
Let me play devil's advocate, because I gotta defend Lord Enka's honor, because it was a big argument last night between him and Lord SWAT. They were going at it. It was kind of funny.
You're gonna have Lord Tyrael about to tear you apart. So
you're funny, Lord.
Change coming down.
So
for Chief in the chat, he says the same shaders. Most shaders don't mismatch. That is true, but when you get shaders, you get them in bundles of 3 or 5 or sometimes.
Lord Enka in the build. I was going to defend
Jesus Christ.
Now, to Lord Enka's point, I want to play devil's advocate, because we at Iron Lords, we hear all aspects, even with stuff we don't agree with. He made a point last night that's saying, look, you understand that there's more customization now, but at the same time, Destiny 1 basically had this feature, and now in Destiny 2, it's being taken away. So, Lord Enka, is anything else you want to elaborate on your point last night as far as ShaderGate?
Now, I'm only going to be here just for a brief minute.
I know. That's why I brought you in.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not arguing that the inherent action of making an item consumable is wrong, or limiting an item in terms of how much you get it, but we need to get a few things straight. Also probably when I say Bungie, I'm referring to Activision as well, because at this point they're indeterminable between the two. So, first off, the ability to bind a shader to an individual piece of armor is not mutually exclusive to the item being consumable. You can have both features independent to each other. What has happened instead is Bungie has said, oh, well, we're going to give you this cool little feature, but we're going to take away the aspect you liked. We're going to take it away a little bit. So, also, like in other games, yes, you have other games that have like consumable dyes and stuff, but they either have ways for you to make that, or you can either guarantee ways to get those dyes in that kind of game. It's not solely limited to like an RNG, like in some games, I guess I'm sure there's some game out there I don't know about that does that. That kind of goes to my next point. And Bungie Activision, the mixture of the two, took out this feature. They said, we're going to overhaul this, but we're going to stick this little aspect in here too of we're going to create a whole new market for our microtransactions. That's the whole point of this. We're going to say it's consumable. And like, yeah, you might get the right drop. You might get the right drop for your Cerulean Divide shader, which looks amazing with the carbon fiber and the green. I absolutely love that one.
It was hot.
They say, oh, you may get that drop, but you're only going to get 3. And if you want more, you can't buy them necessarily, because we don't know yet until the cycle of the week if you could buy individual ones like you can right now. If you have bright Ingram dust, which you can get by breaking down things you got from bright Ingrams.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can-
Oh boy, live from the Siva workshop. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, he sounded like he straight from the dead. Can you
Lord, that-
hear me?
Brother from another mother, co-host. What's going
Sounds
on?
like-
I know you want to jump into a ShaderGate.
From the Siva vault.
I just want to say something real quick. With two things.
They holding his mouth. Hey,
He got the Bane filter on.
Batman.
Calm down.
He's not right for one reason.
Mhm.
Because it has to be a law somewhere out there where he can't be right. So there's no way he can be right. So, Anchorman is always wrong.
I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna troll you, Batman.
Oh my God! Do you feel so? You feel this is a non-issue? Do you not see anything? You not agree with any aspect of what Lord Anchorman said?
I understand why people are flipping out, but at the same time, I'm like, look, like they gave us more customization, and someone on Twitter, I can't remember his name. I think it was Holtzman. No, it wasn't Holtzman. It was the person who gets the
Medallion?
He sound like he's talking to you from prison.
You stupid. Continue to say that.
You better hurry up before his clicks run out.
You're on the Iron Lords podcast.
When you accept the call. Let me stop.
Talking to prison inmate, Addict, number 77412.
Get off. He's got limited time. We appreciate the call.
Sorry.
Oh, you may have jumped up. I think it called you. But real quick, so to Lord Anchor, before I let the Lords respond to you, my question to you, since you've been playing now, you've been putting some miles. I see you out here in these Destiny 2 streets. How has your shader acquisitions been? Have you not been able to get a lot, or how has it been as far as acquiring shaders?
I have a bunch of really crappy shaders.
So you're getting them.
I'm playing Destiny 2 right now. I will pull up my little inventory here, and I'll tell you what I have in terms of shaders. Now, I'm max level.
You don't have to go through the list. You don't have to go through the list.
I have 25 Atlantis Wash shaders.
Use some of them.
They look garbage, though. They look like urine.
Use it to mark the gear you want to delete.
They look like urine.
Put them on blue clothes. Stop complaining.
Use them on gear you want to delete. Like, use it to mark gear you want to delete. You got 25 items to delete.
I'm playing right now. I open up my inventory. I am sitting on over 250 shaders right now.
You're an animal. I thought I was bad.
250, and that is only in my inventory. That's not even considering what I have in the goddamn vault.
Is Red Bull and Adderall a thing with you?
No.
Brother, you're out of control, brother.
It's not just a thing, it's a way of life.
I want Swat to get his response to this whole ShaderGate perspective in reference to other MMOs, and I believe Destiny kind of maybe having similarities or paralleling what other MMOs are doing. Your feeling on that, Swat?
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I'm very used to. The idea that you maybe have to farm some things to make that die, and sometimes there's there's a little bit of a paywall, and sometimes just a little bit of an exclusivity to get in that die that you want. There's always kind of that mentality in MMOs, especially free-to-play MMOs. Are very heavily on that. And
Is Destiny 2 free to play?
Oh,
not technically, but it's also not nearly as expensive as a game like WoW or some of the major games out there. And what I'm really just getting to is, you do have the option of getting them for free. It's just what it is. I mean, you have to realize these are colors. They're not imperative to playing the game. You don't have to have all your armor looking red and black.
So what you're saying,
and if Destiny 1 introduced that as that way, it'd be like, all right, okay. But the fact that they took it away.
He's standing on the fence.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, God.
Let Ebontis go.
Go ahead.
All right. So imagine Destiny 1 did not exist. Or it was completely beta. Shaders were never an issue then. This is the first time shaders had ever been introduced, and this is how it was brought to you. What would you think of that?
And that's a deal you got to deal with. Like that's the thing. It's the active itself is not so bad. It's the fact that they took it away to sell it to you in microtransactions. To
Don't
try
buy
to
it.
get you back
Let me-
as a
let me-
repeat
all right,
customer.
all right.
I gotta agree.
Say it with your wallet. Say it with your wallet.
Yeah.
And I will.
Let me
Don't
jump
buy
in on
it.
this.
Yeah,
Let me
Losov hasn't gotten in yet.
Yeah,
Losov.
get in there, Sal.
speak to that point. I mean, personally, the shader stuff to me, I haven't gotten far enough into it that it matters that much to me. I'll run around looking like a rainbow. I don't really care. Like at least at this point, I do have a few shaders, but it doesn't really matter to me at this point. Maybe as I get deeper into the game, it'll matter to me really how I look and whatever and color coordinating. Now, what you guys have to remember about Destiny 1 is that everything that came out of Destiny 1 post-launch was like a mea culpa.
Yes.
They gave you a bunch of stuff because it's like, hey, I know we messed up, man. We messed up. Here, take this. Here, take this. Take this. Everything in the subsequent 3 years after launch was fixing all the beef that people had with the game when it came out. So now that time, guys, that time, that honeymoon period is over. It's Destiny 2 now. They're like, hi, we got you. We got you. We're coming out of the gate. And we're coming out of the gate hot. You guys are going to pay for this. I believe you me, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. You're going to keep getting crappy shaders. And you're going to pay for the good ones. And that's what's going to happen. Look, I understand that Destiny's not a free-to-play game. And that sort of model applies mostly to free-to-play games. But this is, again, it's a massively multiplayer online game. At some point, they're going to look for a way to more easily monetize maintaining that game. And they're going to do it with physical stuff, that doesn't necessarily affect gameplay. That's how they're going to do it. And little by little, more of this stuff is going to be behind a paywall. It's just coming because they're going to be like, look, man, we gave you the game you wanted. Now you got to pay up. And that's what it is.
Let me jump in right quick on that song because you actually made a good point. And I just want, for the record, I don't want to make it seem like I don't understand what, Anchorman's talking about. It's one of those things that obviously shaders to me, they are important. Like, let's be honest, Destiny is a fashion game. That's a big part of the game. Like, you walk in the tower, you're like, oh, hold on, what a lot of king got on? Oh, where do you get that color? Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit there and minimize that. It is a huge part of the game and the ecosystem. But like Lord Soft says, I do feel that they know that they could attempt to monetize this, or at least put this in a way that if you really want and you fall to temptation and you really want that shader, you know what I'm saying? You may go to Test Everest and roll the dice at the slots if you want it. Now, I will say this to Lord Zero's point. I've gotten a ton of shaders since I've been playing. Shaders are definitely something that is acquirable through normal gameplay. And I haven't felt like, I even took a screenshot. I was like, maybe I didn't even finish the campaign yet. And I'm like, wow, I've got all these shaders. Now, the only thing I dislike, and again, this is where I do side with Anchor on just this point, is that now I'm noticing I'm in the mentality of, if I get a hot shader, I'm kind of hoarding it. Because I'm like, wait, I don't want to waste it.
Can't show it off.
I gotta hold it for my hottest gear, that kind of thing. And that's the only thing that it kind of changes my mentality a little bit. And I don't know how comfortable I am with that aspect, but I can't say that I'm not getting shaders or having an abundance of them. It's just my mentality has changed. So that's where I'm at on it. But
my thing is, not to cut you off, let's just take a second and think of the inverse, right? Let's say you got the shaders now, and you got them permanently, and then you still had the freedom to apply them to anything you wanted, right? Like you can do now, okay? But they had unlimited uses, okay? Now, let's say, for instance, that, they brought back Chatterwhite, or for Anchor wants to Boolean divide, right? So let's say he gets that. And then you get it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. That's another shader that you could have gotten, but you're getting ripped off because you already have it, and it's like unlimited uses. So what are you going to do with it?
Actually, what you do is you do what you do with the Bright Ingram system. Like the system is already in the game. All they got to do is just make it. That's perfect.
They give you free money for something you get 250 of.
Yeah, so you would
the same system.
You want to get
apply this to a
25 dust that you can't use to buy anything with?
Find stuff in the Eververse with that. If it's the dust, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Imagine if they did this with Overwatch. Oh, you got the Christmas skin. Oh, but you want to change it to something else? Well, it's gone. You can't use it anymore.
Oh
Mhm.
boy.
That's the same thought process.
Oh no.
So wait, what you want to do?
What
What you want to do is you want to be able to get a copy of an unlimited use shader that you can trade it. Now, keep in mind, when you dismantle a mod at Eververse, right? Because I've been through all this, right? You get 25 bright dust for that, right? That is a mod, okay?
I'm gonna let you go.
For a
Kim.
shader, you would get like 10.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that 10 bright dust? What are you gonna do
got
with
it
it?
for
Break
free.
it down, save it up, use it, buy
one.
something different. It's not that hard.
How you complaining for free though?
Oh, no, King, I know you have something to say.
You are complaining for free.
It's not free though. You pay $60 for the game. This is the game.
No, stop that. Okay, stop that part right there. I'm not gonna let you keep running around with getting upset because you don't got the shader you want to put on your boots. Stop that now. All right, listen. You shouldn't have used it on your helmet. You should have saved it for your boots. At no point in time, and I got a bunch of shaders. At no point, and I looked through them. At no point in time did I say I'm gonna actually spend physical cash to buy some shaders. That's not gonna happen. They're not gonna get $1 from me from that ever. At one point, I don't care if they come out with the silky blue. I don't care. The Patriots green. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. I'm not gonna buy it. You know why? Because it doesn't affect anything. It's just really for people who have OCD. They have to have their hat match their boots, and they got you.
Stop saying that.
You have OCD, and they got you now, and you need that shader to match your jacket, and it's over. You messed up, because every time a shader pops up, you're going to be upset that that is not the shader that you want, and it's going to highlight all the problems you have with that shader system. I don't have it because I don't need to match. I don't care if I have a green hat or blue boots. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. As long as my gun works when I'm inside that crucible, that's all I care about.
Oh man, this is a good one. I respect X for coming in here. He feels his way. I mean, in his defense, there's a huge uproar. There's a lot of people.
A lot of people with OCD.
And on that note, we've got to move on a little bit. X, thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you to fight the good fight, man.
Hey,
Okay.
let's put it this way. It's people like me that Destiny listened to in the first place because I didn't put any money into it.
No doubt. And it's people like you who were on the fence with Destiny 1, and it's just great to see you guys playing Destiny 2. And I think that speaks volume that if the way, like Lord Zero said, like in Lordy Bots, like if this is what the people are upset about, then I feel Bungie at least is on the right track as far as the game not being the issue anymore, right? As far as the story,
every issue with Destiny 2 is
come on.
Yeah.
Every issue with Destiny 2 is self-inflicted. Like they listen to almost every single thing everybody complained about Destiny 1 about, and they listened and they changed it. But it's the things that they decided, like, we'll change this. We don't care. It's like, really?
Real quick to your point, Lon, it looks like because of the Reddit post went so viral that Deej, I believe it was Deej or Cosmo, one of the community managers, did come out and say they are going to make some type of a change with an update. So they said they are here. They didn't say any specifics. So I don't know if that means RNG will get blessed, but apparently your voice has been heard. So
how about this? Like, let's just say, Anchor, would you like be happy with if they added something like, let's say, legendary shaders or exotic shaders?
There are legendary shaders and exotic shaders.
Okay, so they're already there. Maybe if they made them, but forgive my level 19 self. I haven't gotten too many of those. So,
you can't even talk about the game.
So if they added an unlimited use aspect to those, would you be happy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Then,
like once you get them, you're good. That's it. Like you can apply it to anything you want. Good to go. That's all I want.
You want that all red everything.
No, I want that cerulean divide.
Cerulean divide. That's what this is about, Lordy Bontes.
It's not no. Bontes, you got to know. Like this thing, like the primary color is like a carbon fiber, like dark gray, and like it's got the secondary color is like this like nice green lime. Oh my god, it looks so good.
Did you got it yet? You got it?
I got one.
You got one of them, right? Good. Now put it on what you like, and that's it.
Nope.
No more.
Not doing it.
And on that note, we gotta move on. Football is approaching. We gotta get these topics going.
All right, see you guys.
All right, no, thanks, Zach. Appreciate you. And King, get it to you. Microsoft having a rodent problem? The mic problem.
Yo, listen, man. I gotta say, shout out to Mikey Barr. Every
Yes,
day,
sir.
I'm really loving this guy more and more. If it's not for his UFC love and his boxing hate, it's for the fact that he's our guy on the inside, man. He's letting us know little by little. I guess he gets in a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
And I want to tell him I appreciate you for getting in trouble. Microsoft has put out the edict to let all the developers know we're going to coach you up on putting mouse and keyboard in. Now, I've always been a proponent for mouse and keyboard in a Microsoft ecosystem. Being that they come from PC, I thought it was a natural progression that it would be there. I thought when I played Gears of War on my Xbox, I was able to have the opportunity to use a wireless keyboard and mouse. And now that functionality is becoming a reality with his latest comments that he said that every developer that is implementing this or who wants to implement the control scheme, Microsoft will coach him up on how to implement that, and that would be, in a future patch, and it's coming.
Yes.
So it's very imminent, and I wanted to know how everyone feels on that, because does it change the landscape when it comes to competitive gaming on the Xbox?
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I'll actually swap. Let me get your feeling on that first, because you're our PC enthusiast. So now that that's been announced by Michael Barr saying it's coming, what's your feeling on it?
I was actually really happy because one of the things that I would always really love is that a long time ago I used to send a lot of text messages between people, and still a little bit here and there, but I would always prefer a keyboard to having to sit there and scroll around on screen bullshit. And I hate the little controller ones because those are just too damn small. But I do have to say I can see a clear parallel with this coming to soon, that we're going to be getting PUBG, and quite frankly, one of the first things I thought when I actually tried a controller on PUBG is I don't know if people on the Xbox are really going to be digging this with the controller, because there's a lot of situations where there's not only a lot of controls that you have to be able to punch down and get through like almost instant,
Right.
and it's a very quick game when it comes to dying. So I think that
as far as inventory management, I heard as well, like it's much easier to kind of do inventory and stuff like that on PC as well.
Yeah, because you kind of have to get into the mentality of moving while you're in your inventory. If you're not moving and in your inventory, you're more than likely going to get one shot by someone who can just buckle down your head, side up to your head, and it's that game. There's no, if you have like the tier 3 helmet, I think you'll maybe get an extra shot if they're using some kind of like low caliber, like 9mm or something that's at a really great distance. But I mean, the game kind of runs it. If they have like a 7.62 sniper rifle and they hit you in the head, you're dead. So it's kind of, there's no, you just all of a sudden see the little game over screen just fade in. There's no what do you say, like it's not very apologetic to your death in that game.
So overall, Lost Spot, you're in favor of this move. You're excited that Microsoft is being aggressive with this.
Very big. The thing is, how many USBs are on the Xbox One X?
I would say one in front. There's like, say about maybe 3 to 4, maybe.
Bluetooth
3
wireless,
definitely.
baby. Bluetooth wireless.
Yeah, I would say 3 definite, 4 maybe.
Are not big though when it comes to gaming. Wired is the big one, because people don't like the Bluetooth wireless when it comes to video games and when they're playing competitively, because there's always just like the latency that you'll see on bigger TVs. People don't want the latency of wireless.
They'll probably release some sort of hub or something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure something like that. Yeah, I know USB hubs are out there, and that might be. I've never tried one on the Xbox One. I'm hoping that they work, because obviously some, like my keyboard uses 2 USBs. So
right.
Okay,
so you got one of those premium experience keyboard. That's why.
I got one of them mechanical with 12 macros and lights and all kinds.
It's that Destiny 2 4K 60 experience.
That's that premium talk. Talk that premium talk, baby.
Oh yeah,
walk that walk, baby.
Well, yeah, there's so many manufacturers out there for good keyboards. It's hard not to just be like, yeah, I'll drop $60 on this. I mean, really, I think that's what I spent on my keyboard.
Worst case scenario, hopefully there's a hub or some type of additional support so you can get that. Let's keep this moving. Lord Ebontis, how do you feel about this Xbox keyboard and mouse support coming?
I mean, honestly, at some point, I figured it was already going to be pretty soon, if it wasn't already. So they've already got the adapters for it. So honestly, if it's just, approved by first party and it's done correctly and therefore there's no advantage and it makes it even for everybody, I'm fine with it. Because, I mean, in the grand scheme, if you're going to play on PC, you know it's going to be there. And if you're not using it, you might be at a disadvantage, other way around. I actually like how Bungie did it, where they give the aim assist back to those who are using controller on PC. If you want to do it that way. Now they got to kind of figure out if you're using that weird adapter where you get both. But in the grand scheme, I think I'm okay with it because, as you said, for something like PUBG, playing that one enough on PC, I was really wondering how that was going to work on a console. I mean, they did really well with Diablo, so I mean, I know it's possible to make like a console port a lot better. But in general, I think, it's going to be fine. The world will survive.
No doubt. Lord Zero, you are Xbox keyboard and mouse. What do you feel?
Good.
No doubt, I feel that. Lord Sam,
that works.
Yeah, I think it's really important that they continue to blur that line between what the X is and what a PC is. And the fact that they're doing it on a system level is great because you're going to continue to have these people who there's been a lot of talk about creating a PC that can as powerful as Xbox One X for that same price range. And there's been a few people online, like Game Informer, Dan Tack and whatnot. Somebody sort of challenged them to try to build that, and they haven't been able to because it can't. So it's to me, you really, when you have that console crowd and you don't want them to leave in favor of a PC, well, you create an environment where they're going to, where the Xbox continues to be more and more like a PC. So the fact that they're doing this, on a system level across the board, hopefully, creating specific servers and not for keyboard and mouse in these competitive games, that sort of stuff. I mean, it just adds value to the system. The fact also that recently there was kind of an uproar when the Age of Empires got announced as an exclusive for PC and not coming to Xbox, and people arguing like, wait a minute, like, our stuff is cross-platform, but it doesn't work the other way around.
Right.
So this would help a lot in alleviating that. And hopefully bringing those games over to the Xbox as well. So yeah, I mean, it's the fact that it's being done on a system level and it's going to be controlled at that level. That's what's coolest about it, because that way that you're not going to have these wild, some people have it, some people don't. People playing, like you said, PUBG. Some people using it and some people not using it. Like that sort of stuff has to be controlled. So I'm glad they're taking a proactive approach to it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, Lords have nailed it. I mean, my feeling's the same. It's a good thing. I love that it's coming. Like Lord Soft said, always felt the relationship was a little one-sided as far as the Xbox Play Anywhere kind of stuff. And I think this kind of stuff kind of bridges the gap, especially with the Age of Empires announcement, things like that. Yep. The only cons I want to say is just not really a con. It's just that, because the positive also about it is that, if there's a game like that, then that online player base can get expanded when you're doing crossplay, right? So you can include the PC crowd, and I like that. The only thing they have to be careful is with a game like PUBG or maybe a lot of these first-person shooter games, maybe give the guys who using controllers on console the option whether or not they want to jump in with the keyboard or mouse crowd as far as the lobby system, just from a competitive advantage. I just want to make sure they have options. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously we know keyboard and mouse, in the right hands, it's very dangerous competitively. So that was just my main concern. But overall, it's a good thing. I think it's really, really positive. It's a great topic by Lord King. And I'm glad to see, shout out to Mikey Barr, he listens to the show, that these guys really are getting in front of this. And it's something that's long overdue. And it also, like I said, softens that blow with Age of Empires, because I remember a lot of people saying, like, hey,
everybody thinks it's just Age of Empires. I think it facilitates the coming of World of Warcraft.
It could be. Could be. shout out to Lord Jez Gordon from Windows. He's also thinking that, a lot of this relationship is making Microsoft become a little bit more friendly with Valve, a little bit more friendly with Steam,
Yeah.
and making them all play nice together, so opening like the doors of cross network play. He's got a great article right now on Windows Central. Shout out to Jez Gordon, shout out to RANT and the Xbox 2 and those guys talking about it recently. And I think it's Microsoft willing to play ball. And hey, I'm
Remember, this guy had on a Steam shirt. Don't
yeah,
forget that.
I'm all about it, man. If Phil's long-term vision is that, I have no problem with the cross-play. And again, ultimately, I'm all about, games that have life in bigger lobbies and more people to play with. That's ultimately what I'm about. So that's what I got on it. On the sake of time, I know we got a couple TikToks. We're gonna keep moving. Football's approaching, but I want to get this to Lord.
Shout out to them Patriots.
You savage. Shout out. So we're gonna move on to Lord Song and talk about the state of the Switch. What's going on?
Yeah, so the state of the Switch, less than a year from release, but going into its first fall, going up against the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So it's just, they're kind of in an interesting position. Like, we already know how Sony and Microsoft are sort of attacking the fall. Sony's going to be leaning on their third-party deals in terms of software, with Destiny, Call of Duty, and Battlefront, and obviously their hardware bundles in association with that. They're not going to have too much in the way of first-party support. You're going to have the Horizon DLC and Gran Turismo. And then Microsoft sort of the same route. Microsoft is going to be leaning on its S hardware bundles, on third-party deals that it has with, like, Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed. And they're going to have a little bit of first-party support with, like, Forza and Cuphead and, of course, PUBG. But a lot of the focus in terms of, like, third party is going to be, well, okay, the best, you're going to be able to play the best versions of your games if you pick up an Xbox One X in terms of third party. But Nintendo's is kind of in an interesting position, because they have momentum going into the fall, with the success of Mario Rabbids, the excitement over Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles, even Pokken Tournament, stuff, and coming out later this month. But what I wanted to find out from you guys is, what do you think they can keep up this first party release cadence, after the fall? That's one of the things that they have as a challenge moving forward after this fall and into 2018. I mean, we can assume they have a lot more first party ports coming in terms of, like, Smash Brothers, Toad Treasure Track, or maybe Wind Waker HD, stuff like that. So that's something that can keep them moving forward in terms of first party stuff. Another thing that they have sort of in their favor moving forward is a lot of these last gen ports that have been recently announced. Now, you have the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 coming later this year. They just announced LA Noire coming to them, so that's also interesting. I've always said it that, for me, like, give me all of my 360 / PS3 games, that last gen. Give me that entire generation on the Switch, and I'll be happy. Give me BioShock Collection or Mass Effect Collection on the Switch.
Not me.
I'll be happy. I know you.
I ain't showing up for the old stuff.
But I feel but when they bring me the old stuff, right? If they're remaking something, like, let's say with LA Noire, right? They're remastering it. I don't really, okay, fine, it's going to be an HDR, it's going to be crisper, it's going to be nicer, but it's not a remake. I don't want that. But if I can get it on the go, I'll get that. And because, again, I didn't finish that game, so I'll finish it on the Switch. That's what I'll do. So that's a positive generally. That's generally a positive they have, right? Beyond that, also the Nindies, like all of their Nindies. I know a lot of the ones that they initially announced haven't come out yet, but they're coming, and they fill that void very nicely between big Nintendo releases. So they have that moving forward. Now, the challenges that they have can be sort of crippling if they don't get a hold of this. Like, obviously, first and foremost, the supply challenges. That there's always going to be a rush of systems in stores right before a big release. You saw it before Mario Rabbids. You're going to see it before Odyssey and Xenoblade. It's going to happen, But sometimes things, it's kind of slim pickings in the time span between those releases. So that's something that they have to address. And even Reggie hasn't really been clear about what they think they'll be able to do for the holidays. So that's something to think about and be worried about. Obviously, their online challenges, they haven't been able to get that stuff right. The fact that they've been holding out on us and they can actually do chat, but they don't want to. Who knows what they're thinking is on that? But that's something that, again, as time moves on, it's going to be more and more magnified, considering that they're not on the same level with the two other first-party manufacturers, right? And another issue that was brought to my attention not so long ago is this issue with storage on the cartridges. And I'll defer to Lord King on this one, because it's a very interesting topic that doesn't make much sense. It's kind of effed up. But I want to hear his take on this.
Yeah. So all you Switch gang bang dudes. I knew it was coming. I knew games was gonna get bigger and the storage was gonna get smaller, and you had to go out and go buy a memory card. All right, so you go out there, you say, let me do this $85. All right, so you do the $85 on the memory card and you purchase the game. Brother, you have turned your game into $145, because what Nintendo just told you was, you want to play 2K? We got that 2K. It ain't looking like theirs, but we got it. We got it on the go. You want to play it on the go? Say, yeah, I want to play it on the go. But Nintendo, I don't got that much storage. Okay, well, you can't play inside the neighborhood. You don't get the neighborhood. You get the one basketball court. You play in the Phoenix Suns arena for the rest of your life. And they are unapologetic about it. They're like, yo, we told you that our storage facilities wasn't up to capacity. Now, if you would like to purchase extra storage, you could go. We just partnered with SanDisk. So the prices got raised. So you can go to our partners across the street and you can purchase a storage bin over there, and you can get the neighborhood. You like the neighborhood? We got the neighborhood, but you got to get a SanDisk. Get a SanDisk and come back over here and hang out with us. Nintendo is the biggest charlatans, brother. Listen when I tell you this, man. They are the speaker. The speaker is running Nintendo.
I speak to the traveler, but I never said he spoke to me.
Yeah, exactly. He's selling shaders masquerading as memory cards. Yo, I knew it was coming. First, it's starting to look bad.
The most egregious part of this whole thing is that you tell me that I purchased a physical game in the store, and if I don't have a memory card, I can't access said game.
That's bad.
Well, you can access the game, you just can't access the neighborhood.
You can't access the whole game.
We should answer, since y'all know way more about Switch than I do. I think it's important that we address B Money's question in the chat.
Yes, I was going to jump on that too.
His question was, my question about the Switch is, will consumers support the third-party games such as FIFA, NBA, or WWE 2K?
Yeah, I want to jump in on that because I think that's a good point. And I know Lord King is anti the old games. And I think for me, it's paramount that I know me personally, I'm going to support it because I think that's always been their Achilles heel. You know, they had these great first party games, but it's like, will third parties jump on? So when I see a FIFA and I see a 2K being, ported perfectly, minus, obviously one's going to be 30 frames per second. We know they're not doing 60, but the fact that, it's so feature rich, Skyrim is, the same, so feature rich, I'm going to personally support it because I want the third parties to get on board, and that's
so you're laying the foundation for the future.
Yeah, like my thing is I don't want them to be scared and be like, look, well, no one purchased, Skyrim, or no one purchased LA Noire or FIFA. Yeah, I mean, well, my thing is this. Remember we played FIFA? Was it you? No, actually, it was Lord Addict and I.
No,
and
I said it was good.
Lloyd Carbatsu and Lord Soft, and we was over the Nintendo backs, and we checked out the FIFA, and I was like, to be honest, I was expecting what Lord King said. I thought it was going to be FIFA Go. Like, I was really expecting a full-fledged kind of a game, and I'm like, look, this is pretty impressive on the go. And I'm not even a soccer guy like that. But I mean, that's what I got to Lord both B Money's point. I think it's critical for those games to do well on the system. And I think once they do that, then developers won't start dipping their toe in. They may put a little leg in. We may get a little better titles. But
Yeah, but why should you do GIMP gaming? With
why should I do that?
Yeah, you GIMP gaming. You don't have the online chat. So you can't really talk to your friends. It's GIMP gaming. You're paying full price for a GIMP game. Now I can see.
But 2K. Wait, hold on. Okay, 2K is the full version.
Yeah,
and
but
WWE
it's the full version on my Xbox.
I know, but it's on the go. That's the sell of the Switch, the portability. You're playing 2K, the full version, My Career, My Park, all that good stuff, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, minus the talking, minus your friends.
Well, they got an app.
They got an app for that.
Where that app go?
Unfortunately, that's the one place they need some help. Is I don't know how they're still so behind on the online and chat. It's just like they're too afraid.
I think it's an issue because they kind of market to a younger generation of gamers, right. And to say, oh hey, we're going to throw online chat in where now suddenly we don't have the safety net of the ESRB and their rating systems. I mean, it comes down to a lot of different things, but I mean, obviously, I like Discord. I mean, I know B said that he's been using Discord, and that's a big thing. Me and my friends, when we're playing PC games, we're choosing to talk on Discord. And quite frankly, I mean, even when it comes to talking to them in general, I'll usually pick Discord. Like some of my friends from work that we game with, even when we play on consoles, we're on Discord.
No, facts. I heard you say.
So they don't want to turn the Switch into the new Tender. That's what it is.
I agree. I think this is purposely done. I know Lord Ebontis, I don't know if you heard that last ILP, there was a rumor as far as, not a rumor, but it was discovered if you did its code during Splatoon, you can unlock local voice chat, which was kind of blocked. So I thought that was interesting as far as, Nintendo, the self-inflicted wounds of trying to, limit party chat through that stupid app. So I don't know if you got a chance to catch that, Lord Ebontis.
No, I haven't got a chance to catch that one. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was discovered that local chat is in there. You got to do a code to get it out, and it was in the same room, local area network, but it was there. So this seems like Grandpa Nintendo purposely, like Lord Swat said, trying to like protect us from ourselves. Yeah.
And it's that. I mean, I can kind of see that for a little bit, just because, I mean, they are Nintendo. They've always had the family-friendly demographic at heart. And if somebody's like, "Hey, I'm going to buy this Zelda and Mario for my kid," and let them go out, and then they can all of a sudden pop in and be like, "What are they saying on there?" I mean, it's Nintendo for doing the thing. So I can understand why they do it, but there's got to be a way for either parental controls or something like that to be able to limit like what you do and just be like, okay, set this up, put a password, there's no online chat, no nothing. But if you want to have online chat, we have a normal feature set like every other damn person out there. It's just like, why is that so hard? Like Mario Kart, if I want to play with my friend, and just like matchmaking.
Yes.
Mario Kart matchmaking. Oh my God. Like seriously, just me and my buddy, if we want to play, it's like it takes pulling teeth, luck, and an act of God potentially just to play.
Yeah, so, same thing with Splatoon. Like we were like, yo, jumping in the room at the same time. Okay, are you in? Okay, cool. Let's try to log in there. Like it was all this extra step for no reason.
Yeah, it's like that isn't required. So I mean, it's like I love Nintendo, always have, always will, but man, get your shit together.
Facts. I understand. Real quick to you guys off.
It's going to be interesting to see how they handle this this cross-platform thing with Minecraft and Xbox, and using Xbox Live servers, and letting people, because if that works out and Nintendo doesn't, sort of get in the way, and they sort of let those two ecosystems work together, then the line of communication is open to kind of expand that and use it in other ways, like we were just talking about. Who knows? Like if at some point they allow.
Question on the Minecraft thing. Is that on the Java version, like the actual, like the main game for the PC, or is that only on like the Windows 10 version? That's the app.
Honestly, I'm thinking it's just Xbox. I don't know. Because I think it's an Xbox thing.
Yeah, I think it's between. Wait, what do you mean by it's an Xbox thing? Like, is it only for the Xbox cross-platform between?
What's Xbox Live? Right. So I'm thinking it would be the Windows, the Windows Store version of Minecraft and Xbox.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure about the Java version, but that said, just opening up that line of communication, if if they can get that to work without, like I said, getting in each other's way, maybe you can apply that to maybe fixing some of their online infrastructure. And like to Lord King's point, one thing that I think would help a lot, and again, I know Phil is open to these sort of conversations because he's very open to having, cross-platform stuff with his competitors. I know Sony doesn't want to do it, but imagine if they come up with some sort of cross-save thing where your Xbox save can be used on the Switch version of a game. I mean, they're the only portable game in town. It's not like you'd be cannibalizing your own sales because it'd be two different versions of the game. But a positive to it is that you can play both of them and your save will cross over between both just using Xbox Live, which is what. Yeah, I mean that'll do something to alleviate what King's point is, that he doesn't want to play that game on that system. He just wants to play it at home.
Exactly. No, and which just kind of spills in also to the next point, which is the topic as far as the rumor that just came out as far as the leaked achievements. So it looks like there was a developer, gotta bring the guys up, that they're making a game for the Switch. I believe the devs behind this game like Spear. So it looks like they had an AMA on Reddit, and one user asked them about, will this game have online rankings? And instead of the normal, like, no, it's not, they officially came out and kind of spilled the beans. And they were like, Nintendo doesn't have an official support for achievements and leaderboards yet, like Sony and Microsoft. But he said, we know that they are working on it. So this is something that's in development, and hopefully for when the online system goes live. And I thought that was an interesting comment, the fact that he kind of revealed something that he shouldn't. I guess the 10 of us may not have been ready to talk about it, but they are saying definitively that online achievements and leaderboards are there. So I want to know what the Lords felt about that.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to 27. When did that happen? Welcome to 2005.
That's it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, shout out to Lord Kiss Move, Lord Addict. These are main deterrents for Xbox fans, who want to get a Switch. And a lot of people are achievement, fans. And that's a huge thing. Look at the leaderboard to see where your friends are. And also, if you're just playing a game and just to get, some type of recognition for said thing. And there's even been some games, I believe it's the Skya, one of them games that the dev still kept achievements in his own game that he had from PlayStation. He still kept that format. So I thought it was interesting. Lord Ebontis, what do you feel about this?
I mean, it's nice to see. I mean, some people really love them, as you said. They actually live for just those achievements. They're not always totally. I mean, some are kind of useless. Some are like 500,000, Korok seeds or something like that. It's like if you find all 900, it might be cool just to say you did it.
That better be a platinum.
That better be the platinum right there. Seriously, you gotta figure out doing that one. But it's just nice
if you found all the Korok seeds, I swear to God, Nintendo should find your address and mail you mail you something. They gotta send you at least a certificate. Hey, we understand. We ain't giving you much for this, but here at least.
You have officially crushed our game. You've 100% Zelda, which we didn't think was possible. So way to go. Honestly, though, what I'd be curious to see is if they do achievements, do it Nintendo style. Take something like you did with Splatoon, with certain things that you've taken and put the spin on it, but have some fun where it's like, hey, Nintendo did this, Nintendo surprised us once again and did it right. So do something like that. Take their spin on it, have a little fun. I don't know. I'd like to see what they could do. Glad to see it's there.
No doubt. Yeah. Lord King, how do we feel about this?
Here we go.
It's just that everybody is clapping for the retarded kid.
I already said welcome to the party, but
He climbed the gate, the mentally challenged kid. Get out of here. I'm tired of this, man. These games should be $39.99. If they give you half a game, you get half the money. It's just strictly like how it's supposed to be. I mean, if you want to play it on the go and that's your hook, don't charge me $30 just to go outside. I'm tired of that, man. This is man. You guys are charlatans, man. You telling me I must come out my pocket $80 to enjoy something I purchased in the store. A physical copy. I didn't even download this. I physically went to the store and I thought I was safe because I thought it was memory on the card, but it's not. you're set up, bruh. This is. Let me tell you, man. Stop falling for these dudes talking about. Oh, you got a playlist now. You got a playlist now. You feel real good because you got achievements. Come on, man. Cause the little retarded kid said, "Hey, I can achieve too." No. Stop falling for this, man. Stop falling. Just buy the exclusive joints. Vote with your dollar. I guarantee you they fix it because right now they winning. So they looking at everybody like we don't need to fix it.
And to Lord King's point, I got to give him this. Is also which is the also big deterrent right now with the third parties, and I want to bring it up real quick. Is the whole fact that the cartridges are more expensive.
Yep.
And because they got the dilemma where, so then I was like, okay, well, maybe they should just go download only, but only because they got the dilemma because of the storage space, like a game like a 2K, which is over 25 gigs or whatever this stuff is, then like you really boxed your user base in. Like, because they're mandatory now to buy this. And I just think it's a little bit of a mess.
To play your Switch, you're going to need a RAID enclosure on your belt.
Yo, I'm never gonna forget this. Lord Cognito said in the beginning, he foretold this. Yo, you see the memory? I said, So he said, yo, they got you make sure that you get the memory cards. And I said, well, which kind I need? And he said, well, they got these. I said, oh, okay. He said it goes up to 2 terabytes. I was like, what? I said, how much that cost? Because I'm the premium gamer.
$300.
Man, listen, man, it was another Switch in the box, baby. I said, yo, and they don't even make them yet.
They're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I said, come on, man. I knew I saw it from the gate. I saw the BS.
But Zero, I know you must be laughing. You're the only person, and I believe here, that's not Switch gang. So I know this might be quite humorous to you. These things that continue to deter you from Grandpa Nintendo.
I mean, I'm really not interested. Just be honest. It's like every time
Lord
they do
Zero's got
something.
zero investment.
Yeah, right. It's like every time they do something where I'm like, you know what? I might think about it. They do something like this, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
The mentally challenged kid again.
I have no reason to get it right now. I just don't. And this memory card, I have no words. This is the stupidest thing. Again, no. Here, last week I thought the chat thing was stupid. This is stupid. This is all stupid. They're stupid. Oh my lord.
For some reason, I like it when Grandpa does foolishness, and I have you on the show for some reason.
Because they're dumb.
Hey King, they got
stupid.
They got these new drives coming out. They're stick drives. They're like a big kind of weird metal stick that plugs into like a PCI.
God,
yeah, those are like 20 terabytes. Those are going up to 20 terabytes. You could walk around with that like about a 10-inch stick coming off the side of the Switch. To do it for 20 terabytes.
I'm done with you.
I'm done with you.
I forgot who said it last week. Somebody said
that. Poking people with your
Somebody said that the whole chat thing for Nintendo was them shooting themselves in the foot, right? They just bandaged that shit up and shot themselves in the other goddamn foot. I'm so sick of this shit. It's so dumb.
Hopefully, Grandpa will get it together. But on that note, we got to wrap up. Football is approaching. We at the 3-minute mark. Got fantasy leagues to do. But I want to give a shout out to Lord Ebontis, man, for coming through, talking that Destiny talk like old times. It felt good. Lord Ebontis, where can the people find you?
It is Ebontis everywhere. So EBONTIS, twitch.tv, streaming a lot, especially for Destiny 2 on YouTube. Trying to enjoy the game right now, but I'll be putting videos out till I'm blue in the face, and of course on Twitter as well. Catch a few antics on there, but yeah, and find me on Ebontis everywhere, you guys. Thank you for support. Always an honor to be on here. Appreciate it, guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Always family. You know you family. So we had to do the Destiny 2 Blood episode with you.
Yo, when I heard that he was coming, because when I heard what the topics was this week, I said, please make sure you get Ebontis.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This is the man. Check his channel out. Great guide, walkthrough strategies, all that good stuff, man. He puts out good content. He's been our day one, man. He's a little nothing channel. He gave us support.
Guardian Con Bros right there. So
exactly. We pounded our ale. We talked Destiny. I was like, no doubt, I got to show love. So always a pleasure. And
Well,
of
thank you,
course,
thank
I
you.
want to shout out the OG Lords today. Lord Zero, Lord SWAT. Let's start with Lord SWAT, man. Where can find you? You Bullets Rain out here, right?
Yeah, my Twitch account, I've been running Bullets Rain. It's just Bullets_Rain. That's mainly where I've been playing a lot of games, just hanging out. It's just I like live streaming. It's fun. I really got into that now.
And we're also going to catch you on that PC Master Race 4K
Yeah,
60.
I was telling him to get into Mixer, man.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I was considering it, but their partner program is a little intense. I don't know if it might be something that I do a little on the side here and there, but obviously Twitch is a little bit more lax when it comes to if they're gonna be partnering with people. I got a few friends that are partnered right now, so I was just considering trying to play a little bit and see where I can go with it, because obviously Twitch is something that could happen versus Mixer, which is a little rougher. You got to be professional, like 750 people professional at a time, on your account.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that either. So
I hear you, man. I hear you. And of course, there's also a pleasure to have our man Lord Zero back to back 2 OG weeks. It was good. You know what I'm saying? Lord Zero helping out that Channel 5 clan with those nightfalls and those rewards. I cashed in at Hawthorne because of you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome for your exotic there, bud.
Oh yeah, you got me the gun, you got me the wings. Oh man, thank you.
Anyone gonna be on Destiny afterwards?
Would you say so?
Anyone gonna be on Destiny afterwards?
Yeah, I'm going on right now.
Sweet. I'll be jumping on the Xbox at least. I gotta run around and clean up a little bit here, but
no doubt.
Yeah, as usual, you find me everywhere at Lord Zero ILP. Make sure next week to turn into After Hours of Arcadia at 9 p.m. Central Time on Thursday.
Okay. So 9 p.m. on Thursday. Okay. Shout out to Dizzy. Shout out to Reaper.
We were supposed to have a show this week, but things got in the way. Life is life. Can't really predict it. Yeah. And just a reminder to everybody: ShaderGate is only a thing if you make it a thing.
Shout out to Anchorman for coming through, fighting the good fight though. That was fun.
I'm good.
No doubt. And of course, Lord Solve, where can find you? Not playing Destiny with anybody.
Not playing Destiny. They can find me solo playing Destiny
I'm going to get you right now.
Going to Lost Sectors and Adventures by yourself.
By myself. Xbox Live, PSN, BX Sovereign, and Lord Saab ILP on Twitter.
No doubt. That's what's up. And of course, the premium gamer himself, Lord King. Where can find you?
You can catch me at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the normal stuff. Listen, hit me up on Twitter to find out more about the t-shirts. Also, us Lords is trying to work on some video packaging, so you can see us in the Lord's life, what the Lords do. So we're trying to get that in in a physac for y'all guys to to check that stuff out, man. But I'm going to be on Destiny. So you guys can jump on, add me if you haven't added me. King David OTW.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be on getting it on right now. I'm trying to do this Nightfall today, so get ready for that raid, baby.
Yeah, your raid ready by Wednesday. Of course, Lord Cognito here. Again, shout out to the chat. Everybody was lit. Shout out to everybody who's acknowledging the new time. Again, we're going to rock this for a while during football season, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit that like, subscribe to the Inner Circle Network. Shout out to all the people who are still following the Iron Lords podcast YouTube channel. I love you guys, but you're getting the videos late. It's just an archive, so please subscribe to the Inner Circle Network. That's who we're partnered with. We got nice things lined up there. There's also a Patreon link in the description. Please check that out. We're going to have Lord Ebontis' information in the description, and you can also find us on Podbean. So we have the audio up there, and that goes out to all media outlets, audio outlets, including iTunes as well. So look for the Inner Circle Network there for the audio, so you guys can get that, and you'll see the Iron Lord podcast episodes as well. Shout out to the Tick fam. All the support really helps, and we are about to be out of here. So on that note, peace.